So I'll look at the virtual camera only. Mm, so I'll look at the stream. It's loading for me. It's oh, I can only see the game, right? They are asking for will there be a we are starting quickly or 2 minute countdown. Dude, they are asking we are starting quickly or 2 minute countdown. Okay. Can we mute the mic, please? Hello, everyone. Welcome along for the Indian racing community F Formula 125 Championship. Today, we are here for the Singapore Grand Prix, which is round 3 of the season. And drivers will be going all guns blazing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. For this race, I am joined by my co commentator who is helping us for the stream as well, Deepak Raj, a veteran of IRC. Hello, Deepak. How are
Yep.
you?
Hello, Tanish. How about you? It's been a great weekend. It's been a great weekend so far. I mean, it's a great week for me, but I hope everyone also had a great week. And we're kicking off this weekend with the third round of season 13 in F1. So yeah, and like you said, today we are racing in Singapore Street Circuit. It's quite a, how to put it, well, an interesting choice, and definitely it's entertaining. It's either delivers extremely or it's nothing, but at the end of the day, it still is a very big test for the drivers, considering the difficult nature of this track and how it is all about focus and concentration at the end of the day. So yeah, we've had some interesting rounds in the past. We've had some unwanted records in the circuits in the past. I think one of the races we had like one of the highest numbers of safety cars we ever had. So hopefully that's not the case today. But yeah, with all that said and done, I think the drivers are all set in the lobby, and I think we are almost underway for the quali session. So let's hop on to the session quickly.
Yeah, surely, why not? And like you just mentioned, it's a very demanding circuit. This circuit used to have 23 corners earlier, but there has been efforts to make it much more better and improve the racing in reality. So now the corners are reduced to 19 corners, and now there are 3 DRS zones on this track. And I believe that these changes has definitely helped this track get much better in terms of racing and not just demanding that lap time from the driver.
Yeah, I think I believe the changes are because of some circuit related renovations, but at the end of the day, it still ended up playing well the circuit. I mean, it still is difficult to overtake. It still is all about getting that track position perfectly, which is why this session is very important. But now there's a slight possibility that you can have some racing going on. So yeah, it's always a welcome change if you had asked me.
Yep, that is definitely true. And as we see drivers are jumping into the quali, in that time I would just like to give our viewers a glimpse of what the championship for the drivers look like. In the top 3 we have Pre the Pro, who is driving a Red Bull with 60 points and leading comfortably, from Aradhya, who is sitting in the Merc with 46 points. In the third place it's Dark Knight with 34 points. So yeah, that's quite a big of a gap between P1 and P3. If I talk about the constructors, again it's Red Bull with 60 points on top. So Pre the Pro literally carrying the Red Bull as of now.
Yep, Breather Pro looks to be emulating his favorite driver Max Verstappen right now with such performance. But yeah, he did seem to have good pace in the practice session that these guys had today earlier. So yeah, looking forward to a strong result from him.
Yep, definitely. And from past couple of seasons, I think this grid has been quite close from what we have seen in the last race, and it's very difficult to commentate on who might be the best or the favorites for the people. But right now, we are on board Tane, who I believe is on his hot lap, and I think he'll be trying to get an initial benchmark lap set so that he can, improve on that later as the track ramps up. And such a beautiful sight while seeing that car go through that, and he loses the car while coming out of that Anderson bridge. I think that's the most scariest place to lose the car because there is no room for error there.
And he did invalidate his lap as well. So most likely in that section he might have gone a little too far off the white line, and that is his lap out, which means that he's gonna have to go and try again. Let's go on board someone else who's on a lap. We have Zeus in his Ferrari, and he's taking it slow, so I don't think this is also a proper lap. Let's check someone else who is on a lap.
Yep, that is true. And yep, as you said, the Zeus just parking his car on right to give way to another fast car on the hot lap. And we are on board with Sleazy, another, I won't say underdog, but a newcomer who is just showing us good results, good pace in those initial 2 rounds. As we see, he is just about to complete Sector 2, a time of 104 by the end of Sector 2. Starting the Sector 3 in that Ferrari with DRS wide open, A couple of corners to go before he completes his lap as Faizan sets a lap time of 1:29.442 to go on provisional pole. All eyes on Ferrari. Let's see what time does he get. Will he be able to go on pole or will he be sitting behind? Nope. Just an initial lap, 1:29.5. Any comments on that, Deepak?
Yep, the laps are just starting to come in as you're on board Fury, who's tracking onto the first sector, onto the DRS straight, and a slight swing to the right and a heavy braking zone where you could see most of the overtakes happening today. And on we go into the slow infield section with quite tricky to overtake corners, to be honest. It's just all about going to be tire management through these corners with such sweeping corners, which puts a lot of load on your rear tires, and you just end up sliding and losing a lot more. And on to the infamous former Singapore Sling, but not Singapore Sling anymore, and on to the Anderson Bridge. Again, a very, very notorious corner for some insane late dive bombs and borderline aggressive boosts, but let's see if you can see any one of those things today. And onto this corner where you can also extend with so much on the exit, but gotta be mindful of the white lines. And on straight onto the final section, we have a small scheme before we head on to the final corner, which is like a fast left flick, quite demanding and very easy to lose your car. As you can see, Fury just going haywire through the corner and messing his lap up. So yeah, that is definitely not a very best representative lap time from him. And yeah, that's his lap.
Yep, it seemed like he was running a very low rear downforce while going through that section. But right now we are on board Kanak, another veteran of IRC, who gets a lap time of 1:30.21 and goes to P5 as of now. As Ritesh, or wait, did someone improve? I see there's some changes on the top.
King James
Dark
has
Knight
gone up to P2 and Dark Knight goes up to P5, and Zeus takes it all the way into P1 with a 129.1.
Wow, Ferrari guys are just showing up some good pace. I think I heard in the practice as well, Zeus was just performing decently well. So we might get, a Ferrari podium today. What are your comments on that? Because Ferrari podium, I think it has been missing from quite some time,
Yeah, that has been the case. I mean, it would be nice to see a Ferrari podium somewhere at least. But yeah, I mean, they shouldn't get ahead of themselves because the entire field is very much close and stacked up. But this is just like the first 5 minutes of the quali session. There is still a lot more track ramping up to go and a lot more. Oh, that was an interesting parking over there.
That was a very weird wait. I don't know what he was trying to do there. I mean, that was very confusing.
It was indeed. But yeah, as you see, the Toyota completed their first hot lap runs. And I think the McLarens were just starting their hot laps because they had invalidated their first attempt. As the onboard Midas, who ultimately makes a hash of that corner, just cuts too much on the inside, goes too much on the outside, and has to fight that car to keep it on the circuit in a valid condition. So yeah, definitely struggling with these corners here.
Yep, he might be getting the hang of this track. Maybe not a very experienced driver on this track. I can't comment on that, but yep, maybe he's just getting the hang of it, and by the end of the quali might be able to give us a representative lap. As he goes through that Anderson base to that slow corner, the car was on the edge there. Let's see what lap time he gets. Not the best, I would say.
And he cuts so much on the inside. Definitely needs to watch out his racing lines, because that was too much on the inside. Got too greedy and cut the whole thing and invalidated his lap. This means he's gonna have to go into the pits and go all over again. And
that
interestingly,
is one way to find the limit,
still not got a time on the board. So I guess he's still waiting for this opportunity to arrive.
I believe we have seen that before. If I'm not wrong, it was either Australia or Mexico where he was just waiting. And in the final few minutes, he just went for the lap and was on top 3 in the quali.
He's playing his cards close to his chest, not wanting to reveal his true face just yet. Or is there some other that he's just hyping up? But either way, he is still waiting in the pits, not out yet. As we're on board Tanish, who is trying to put his representative lap time on the board, who also suffered a same invalidation issue on his first run, which means that he has to go all over again. So we are on board and kicks his right-hander, and seems to be having a smooth input throughout and getting these corners in a decent fashion. So yeah, seems to be having a good lap going on for a representative time.
Yeah, and as we see, he's going through what section of corners is 11, 12 before 13 going through the Anderson Bridge, and another slow corner coming up which is turn 13. Gets it right in the second gear. I see that engine bogging down. It's maybe because of the TC kicking in, I'm not sure. But yeah, as he gets, by the end of sector 2, gets lap time of 104. So let's see where he ends up when he finishes this third sector in that McLaren.
Meanwhile, up ahead, SSA Assassin has moved up into P2. So fast boys are starting to kick into gear, and SSA is just getting started.
Yep, that's a comeback of one of our guys, SSJ, 194. That's a very decent lap time. And we have seen SSJ, he somehow, as the session goes to the end, he somehow gets, finds that lap time and puts his car somewhere on the top. It's always the case, and it might be the same case today. You never know.
Indeed.
As we see, Dark Knight, who is on his out lap, would be working to get his lap time improved. As you see, Ritesh going a 7/10 faster, but it was an invalidated lap, sadly. Vaibhav Khanna, we are on board as he goes through the initial few section of the corners. He's just starting his lap, and that part of the corners look clean from him. Let's see how he goes to turn 5, if I'm not wrong. Look decent, DRS wide open. He'll be proceeding towards end of sector 1. Let's see what lap time he gets by the end of sector 1, which is 26.7, an improvement of a 10th on his personal best. As we see Aradhya going on pole with a 28.7, the first 28s of today. Wow.
Yep, he has reached the 28 mark, and he has 6 minutes still left into the session. So yeah, we got our first 28 already, and Aradhya has slammed it onto pole. Let's see if anyone can dethrone him from that place. Most likely we, or it could be anyone else who could have a surprise pole today.
Yes, for sure. I would be hoping for a surprise pole today. I'm sorry, Aradhya, but yeah, it's sometimes it gets boring to see those fast guys always on the top. It's always fun for our viewers to there's some underdog or some new driver who just comes out and shows that I also got the pace to be on the top.
Yep, those things are always interesting because the drivers out of place usually do provide a lot of entertainment when they have to make their way through the field. So yeah, it's always a great thing to see. And you see Zeus has moved up to P2, has pushed down SSA, and so has Vaibhav Khanna, who goes on to P4, is immediately pushed on to P5 by Faizan, who goes up to P3. So yeah, a lot of laps coming in a short time.
Yep, and in top 5 we are seeing 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferraris, and a Haas of Faizan. Wow. It's a battle of constructors happening here. As we see Dark Knight putting a lap time of 29.0 and goes to P2. With Zeus also 29.0. Oh my god, these lap times are just going closer and closer. Still 3/10 away from Aradhya, but yep, the field is not as far spread as we thought.
Indeed, the top timings are separated by almost nothing, with Aradhya just having like the biggest gap so far, but everyone after that, it's just a matter of a slight oversteer, a slight misjudgment into the braking. That's all is the difference between those guys over there. So yeah, it's very tight up there.
Yep, and as we see, it's final 5 minutes of the track, and we have known that in these final 5 minutes the track starts to ramp up very quickly. So we should be seeing the lap times improving as the drivers finish their laps. So let's see who is the one who will just wait and come out in the final 2 minutes to get the best lap time in, or there'll be people who will be doing multiple laps till the end of the session. We will find it out soon.
He is on his hot lap right now, and he's about to cross the sector 2 line. So yeah, looks like Pri is on the charge right now.
Yep, he has bring out his car, and he would be wanting to play his cards right to get that perfect lap time in as he goes through that turn 13, if I'm not wrong. Such a tricky corner to have, and you should not be messing up your traction because you'll lose all that lap time on the straight, as he does a purple sector of 103 by the end of sector 2. Wow, I think this is the first 103 that I was able to spot. I'm not sure what Aradhya or Dark Knight did, but yep, We are right now watching Pri, who will be completing his lap very soon. Just final two corners to go for him as he goes through turn 14 and turn 18 and 19 as he goes on pole with a 28.6. Wow.
Yep. Comes out, puts a lap, and goes straight to the top. That's an insane
All he
lap.
needed was that one lap, Deepak. All he needed was that one lap to
Yep.
get the hang of it.
Yep, that's an impressive lap time. But yeah, now the onus is on back with Aradia and Dark Knight to see if they can get close and dethrone Pri, because I don't think Pri will have time to do another run at this point. So yeah, it's all down right now.
Yep. One way he can do, I'm not sure how bad the tires will be, to just save or charge up his battery for one cooldown lap and then use that battery in the final lap. But the tires, I'm not sure if they'll hold up. But right now, we are on board SSJ, who is on his odd lap as per the looks of it. Using his battery, I can see that battery going down on that wheel. So yep, he's definitely on a lap. Going through the section of turn 11, 12, the tricky section, going to the Anderson Bridge. As we see, there's a car in front. Oh, that McLaren might have distracted him.
Yep, the McLaren, I mean, I think he did best whatever he can, but could have done better in my opinion. But he most importantly gets out of the way, does not hold him up, so SSG can get on his way and try to dethrone Pri from that pole position. He seemed to have a very good first sector. I don't know about the second sector, didn't really track that last time, but this corner was not so great. The right-hander would have definitely liked it to be a bit more tighter to the curb. But on we go to the final corner, and where does this lap puts him up into P3. Not a bad attempt, but yeah, he'll definitely be a very big contestant in the race when it comes to.
Yep, that particular corner did lose him maybe half a tenth if I'm not wrong. That was just a replication of what happened to Verstappen with dirty air. A difference between the pole and P2 for him, but today, right now, SSJ in that situation is on P3. As we are on board with another fast guy, Hacker, who we call Helium in our community, who is also just going to the final few corners and will be just going through turns 18 and 19 to complete the lap. A very fast corner. As you see, goes to the line and gets a 28 for 2 tenths. Wow, these guys are just going for it.
Yep, indeed, and Aradia has just started his hot lap, so let's see what kind of lap time that he can do. Just quite sliding through the first three corners, but seems to have got the car hooked up through here. And let's see how he takes turn 5. Hooks it into the apex, goes all the way to the exit, and seems to have a good run through onto this DRS straight. Let's see how he
All
carries
these
on with this lap.
drivers are just pushing, and Aradhya, I'm sorry to cut you off there. Aradhya is 1.5 tenths up on his time in that first sector itself. Let's see how he does in the sector 2. As you see, Pri has retired. So yep, Pri is not improving anymore on his lap. So it all comes down to Aradhya, SSJ, and you never know if it's Dark Knight, Zeus, Faizan, Sleazy. These guys also are showing good pace. They might just dethrone someone from top 3.
Yep, indeed. Even if they don't, I think it's going to be an absolute melee in the top 6 to claim those positions, because the gap is just oh so tight. So yeah, these guys are going to be giving it all to just get that. And I see Aradia has set the purple sector 2. I don't know how accurate that is in the game, but it's what we are looking at. And it's just got a few more corners to go to finish this lap. And let's see where this puts him up through. As he comes on to the final two corners, flicks it on to the left into the main straight, and he goes faster to the 28.2. That was a blistering lap from Aradia to put him up there. And as we go to the other competitors, Dark Knight was right behind him who started the lap. He's approaching the final two corners, flicks it onto the left-hander, and this lap puts him up into P4. Definitely a great attempt, but I think he slightly fell short in a few of the corners. And you see the Ferrari of Sleazy has moved up. Where does Zeus end up in all of this kerfuffle? He ends up P6. And as he jumps on board with Faizan, comes on the final corner and moves up to P7. That's an interesting quality order you got there.
Yep, as you see, I think Fury also just completed his lap. He's sitting in P15, and ABD completed his lap just now, sitting in P16 for lap time of 29.9. So yep, these drivers were just hiding their pace by the end of it and just played their cards in the end. I think Aradhya just played it perfectly in this situation.
Yep, indeed. And I don't know what happened. They were considering tires for the race or whatever it was, but I still don't think soft tires are a very good viable option to save. But either way, I think he just stayed in his garage, went out for one hot lap, puts it up into provisional pole, but Helium and Aradhya were up to the task and they were able to move up into P1 and P2. So yeah, it's still not a bad position to start in P3. It's not a horrible place to start. You can still jump the two guys if you get a good launch. That's all that separates you from P1. So he'll definitely be looking to get a good launch off the line and just run away from the pack.
Yep, and as we can see the leaderboard, let's quickly go through the leaderboard. In pole position, we have Aradhya, followed by Hacker. Then it's Pre, followed by Dark Knights, Leezy, Zeus, Faizan, Sandeep, SSJ, Mohan. That rounds up the our top 10 for the race today. So anything can happen. I think this track always proves that it doesn't matter what position you are starting in. As we see, Zeus has a 5-place grid penalty.
Yep, that's something I wanted to point out. I think when we tuned into the session, I just saw a banner saying that Zeus has a 5-place grid penalty for a collision. I don't know with whose car it was, but yeah, that is going to drop him all the way to P11. So his race is going to be much more difficult. Considering this is a difficult track to overtake on, you got to be spot on with your overtakes, very clinical with your moves, and be careful with your pit strategy as well. And yeah, he's gonna have to be clinical with those overtakes, if you had asked me.
Yep, there's not a lot of room on this track to make errors, so your overtakes should be like perfect to not run into a wall, because going into a wall while overtaking means losing that wing or even the terminal damage with the tire just going away from the car. So you need to make sure that you are staying your car is in perfect situation when you are making that overtake. But I think one of the things is on tracks like this where there are higher chances of making mistakes and with much bigger consequences, the drivers who just place perfectly is the one, or who plays patiently is the one who gets out with a good result. And as we see the drivers starting their formation lap, I think this is the best way to realize how much grip is there on track. They might feel a bit different since I doubt if anyone will be starting on that softer tire. I think majorly the drivers will be on mediums or hards. As we can see, there are 3 drivers only on the grid who are opting for hards in the first stint. Not sure what is the ideal strategy. Any thoughts on that, Deepak? What do you think?
Well, I mean, this also is again a one-stop strategy, which is the most common one in this particular strategy. And usually it'll be medium hard or a hard medium, but I think some drivers were contemplating a soft hard or a hard soft, considering the softs are able to last for like 6-7 laps. So yeah, but by the looks of things, most people have committed themselves to a medium hard strategy. Only the 3 drivers, Sleazy, Viber, and King James, have the possibility to maybe extend the hards to a soft, but still that is very unlikely and it's very difficult to do it in this particular circuit. So yeah, I kind of think it's going to be a medium hard or a hard medium strategy that's going to happen. And the only thing with starting on the hards on a circuit like this is that you are painting yourself into a corner if you're going to start in a harder compound right now, because let's say you have an incident, you're going to have to switch on to a softer tire set, and which will definitely have to stop. At least hards you have some hope to stretch it, but the mediums it's quite tricky to do that. Those tires do wear out very fast and makes it very difficult to drive. I personally found the hard tires much more tractable, much more easier to control and drive, but hey, it could just be my setup preferences or whatever it is. But yeah, that seems to be the strategy, and most seems to be going towards the direction of medium hards.
Yep, I would agree to that. Getting that harder set in the clean air might just bring good results with faster lap times and easier to control, maybe giving you more confidence to push. As we see Aradhya lining up on his grid spot for the race start with Helium or Hacker in P2, Pre lining up in P3. All these guys are trying to line up just perfectly on their spot to get the reduce that distance of the car in front and maybe get an opportunity to jump the driver in the first corner itself.
You see, some drivers are overdoing it a little bit and getting disqualified and getting pushed back onto the pit boxes. I think Sandeep and Tanish just overdid a little bit. I think SSG was disqualified even before the formation lap started, so he's going to be starting on ice cold tires. So he's going to be very careful about that. And as we go on board, we have 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights on. And we wait for the lights to go out, and it's lights out, and we are good to go. Pre is getting a good launch, but so is Helium up ahead. He's on the inside, but Aradhya has got a clean run through when he's on through into the lead. And you see Faizan and Sleazy having a proper melee over there through those turn 2 and 3. Faizan just pushing that Ferrari out and saying that this is my corner, get out of here. And he moves up to P5. And yeah, so far it's been... I was just about to say it looks like a clean start, but I see a Ferrari on the back that's just stuck onto the wall.
Yep, that's a Ferrari of Sleazy who was in a battle with Faizan. He spun out in the back as we see a Red Bull of Sandeep battling Mohan's Racing Bull car with Zeus trying to make the most out of that opportunity, but right now it's Mohan who stays in front in P7 followed by Sandeep and Zeus in that battle. But yeah, that was a pretty clean start, not the best for Sleazy as he ended up spinning, but as we can see it's also not the best for SSJ. At the race start I was seeing the Haas just literally driving into the middle of the track to maybe get that position, or I'm not sure what happened there, but SSJ is at the back.
Yep, he did. He was in fact disqualified in the formation lap, so which meant that his tires are cold and not ideal for a restart, and I think that would have caught up into the middle of the pack, and he's all the way in the back and he's got a lot of work to do to get back.
Yep, that is definitely a true thing. Right now as we see, Aradhya is leading. He did the first lap of 134, followed by Helium who is less than a second behind him, who is again followed by Pri, and there's not a big gap yet, but yeah, I think that is something good to see. That it's a race start. We'll find it out who is driving or putting in those best lap times and getting that best result in the end. There's a lot of position changes as we could see on that leaderboard at the race start. Is it possible to see, Deepak, how many positions did change?
Fight going on with Aradhya getting overtaken by Helium onto P1. So yeah, the lead fight has already started.
Wow, Helium has decided he's not gonna wait for long. He wants to drive in the clean air, maybe save his tires and not worry a lot about overtaking. Right now it's Helium who is leading Aradhya, followed by Pri, with Dark Knight sitting quietly in P4. I think it's not just Dark Knight, I would say it's Dark Knight, Faizan, Tane. I think Tane is one of the biggest gainers, if I'm not wrong, in the race start.
Yep, indeed. Let's have a look at the positions gained. And as you can see right now, it's full layer because after the correct, Tane has gained 6 places for the start. But overall, it doesn't feel like a massive shuffle in terms of the order. I think Sleazy and SSA are the biggest losers right now. But overall, I would say the start has been relatively clean and straightforward.
Yep, that is something that is very good to see, as Kanak has disconnected from the session. He just joined quickly, and the lap times are just going faster and faster as Faizan, who does the best lap time of the lap 2, as drivers are starting the lap 3. And right now we are on board Faizan, who seems like he's pushing. He is not, I'm not sure if it's the correct data on the dashboard. It seems like he has used quite a lot of his battery right now. It's 20% already. Yep, that just shows how much he is pushing from the start itself.
Yep, he is trying his best to hang on to this train, but in case something happens up ahead, he will be in the prime position to strike. And up ahead, Helium and Aradhya has once again swapped positions, which he missed somehow. So yeah, Aradhya is back in the lead. And what's happening? And behind we see another move between Sandeep Maridu and Mohan MR9. The two sister outfits fighting against each other, going side by side onto this section. I wouldn't really recommend that, and Sandeep eventually gets that move and moves past.
Sandeep was way too close to that particular wall on the left, through going to the last few corners. But right now he stays in front, and I think he has put Ritesh and Mohan in the battle with that Ferrari. So it's a battle of a constructor with another constructor, with Zeus just trying to make the most out of it.
Yep. And we see a proper crash from Mohan M9, who spun around, seeing something enclave flying all around. So yeah, hopefully he didn't retire yet. Hopefully he can still continue and carry on with the race. But that was quite an interesting kerfuffle going through there. First was Red Bulls and the Racing Bulls, and then the Racing Bulls fighting each other, and then Zeus just capitalizing on that with some RG too on that straight. So yeah, that will be something for the stewards to look at. But for now, this is where we are standing, and Sandeep has moved on to P7, and Zeus is continuing his charge back up to the field. He's got Ritesh in his sights.
Yep, and I think it's Vaibhav Khanna also lost his car in that final few corner. I'm not sure which corner is it, but yeah, it's I think around turn 16 and 17 where Vaibhav Khanna also lost the car, and it's a battle again between Ritesh and Zeus, with Ritesh coming out in front of this. So yeah, it's a lot of things happening already. It's like multiple packs form with 4 cars in a battle, and then there's a big gap, and then again there are 4 cars in a battle. The leaders have already created almost a 5-second gap to Tane, who is sitting in P6.
Yep.
The leaders are just trying to, I would not say leaders, but the top 5 guys are just trying to stick with each other and, do not like lose that DRS.
Yep, you're absolutely correct. It's just like the lack of slipstream effect properly in this makes it really difficult, but it just means that you can continue the DRS train. But you're also gonna have to be wary about the dirty air and the tire wear on this, because the tire life is gonna be absolutely crucial, and extending the tires a little bit can make the difference between getting a good result and losing your positions.
Yep,
This
that is
has a good
definitely
run on Ritesh, goes alongside into turn 1 and takes that move away. I think Ritesh had a poor exit on the final corner, which meant that Ferrari of Zeus had a very good run onto it.
These are just trading places lap by lap. As we see right now, we are watching Kanak, who is still disconnected from the session. So yeah, it's not going the best for him today.
I'm really
Right
sorry,
now-
we are still missing out this lead battle here. These guys are just going at it. It's so difficult to track. There's a lot of battles going on. And I see again P11 and P12 just swap places, and Helium goes way too close onto the wall, and Arya has a slightly sliding moment through there. And yeah, it's all unfolding right now.
All these are just charging their batteries to the middle sector because they are aware it's very difficult to make a move. That's the best place to charge the batteries and be prepared if for any attack on the straights, with the DRS being enabled in 3 different parts of the track. So right now I think Helium will be having DRS, followed by Dark Knight, who is also less than a second behind. I think this pack has broken slightly away from 5-Zan with more than a second gap.
Oh,
Let's see Ritesh. Ritesh has retired.
We see a full yellow, and I think Helium he's going into the pits. Yep, he's going to the pits, but I don't think we still see a safety car or anything yet. It's just full sector yellow. Not sure what's going on.
It is a safety car, Deepak. It is a safety car. It is a safety car.
Oh, my bad. And we see Sleazy getting a 10-second penalty for collision with the Alpine of Zinx. So, yeah, not a good race for the Ferrari.
Yep, I'm not sure what exactly happened to Ritesh, but that is unfortunate. I think he was battling the guys like maybe Zeus. I'm not sure if Fury also was involved, but yeah, that's just unfortunate. And it has now bring out a full safety car with ABD getting a 10-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. Oh no, that is not something that you would want to see on that leaderboard.
And Zinx stacks on another 10 seconds
What
onto the list
is
with speeding in
happening?
pit lane. And yeah, I mean, this pit lane is notorious for speeding because it's the whole design is in a very weird manner. It's very easy to get that speed in pit lane. You have to be extra cautious through there. But yeah, unfortunately, we have 2 guys stacking those penalties.
No, but yeah, I mean that is not. Oh, as we see, 5-Zan has left the session. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. But yeah, I think looking at this particular situation, it's Helium from the top 5 who has decided to go into the pits and maybe change the tires to either
Can you
use
even run to the
medium or-
intermediates?
What?
Okay,
What are we?
I'm pretty sure he selected the wrong tires by mistake, or it is one of those things where the tire choice has been glitched out. But yeah, that is just his race going down the drain. There's no way that he could make another stop and recover with this team position.
Oh no, I mean that is, I think, one of the most unfortunate things that could have happened to any driver in this race, and it has happened to Helium. So yeah, I think he has no other option than to pit right now and get back that another set of tires. I think he'll be going on the harder set.
No, mine is staying out.
One second.
Is there some kind of weather prediction?
No. I'm not sure if it's the weather, but what if it's one of the scenarios where he's trying to extend that intermediate so that he gets to drive less on that harder compound, and maybe he can take it to the end if there's no safety car later. That's a very big ask right now also, but what do you think? That's a very interesting way to think if he decides to pit for harder set by the end of safety car.
Well, I mean, I honestly don't know what to make of that, but could be the case, could be not. But either way, I think it's a very got some interesting questions, and he's got a lot of answers to provide at the end of it. Because I, for once, can't figure it out what's going on.
Yep, and as we see, Kanak has just joined back the session. I think he'll be quickly trying to get control back for his car, and he'll be annoyed to see himself. No, he won't be. Okay, he's P11. I'm sorry, I got confused with another Williams, but yep, he's sitting in P11. Okay, that is fine. And right now it's Aradhya who is leading 3 and Dark Knight in the top 3. Who all these in the top 6 all are on the use set. They have decided not to pit, and they're staying out on that medium set, which is 6 laps old. So yeah, I think if Helium decides to pit or Hecker decides to pit by the end of safety car to get back on that harder tire, it will be 5-1, and I think he might be thinking of the longer game, or he might just want to use that fresher grip and maybe just get a few positions from Fury's viewers, maybe Sandeep. You never know. What do you think about that? Do you think it's better to just sit back and let the guys in front pit, or just use that harder tire to maybe, if possible, attack the car in front?
I mean, I'm honestly still struck by this decision of Tinker. I mean, I'm still theorizing what could have happened. I can't really think of anything else at this moment. So I'm really sorry. But yeah, it looks to be a very interesting situation that is going in front of us. And the safety car timing, I don't think it was very perfect for the front runners, because it was not in the pit window, and extending the hards for that long, it's not very ideal that I cannot go that long. But when you're pitting at that time, you're essentially committing yourself to a 2-stop strategy. So which is what is happening right now, and I think the front runner didn't want that, and Helium blinked, but that I don't know if you could see how it would have panned out because of that intermediate tire choice. So yeah, I think the front runners are safe, and they're going to be running their own race.
Yep, and there's one more interesting
safety car, of course.
That is, I think, one of the factors for the people who have pitted in the safety car. So yeah, it might just, if there's another safety car, maybe like around lap 18, 19, then it will be just best for the people who are on hards right now.
Yep. That will be the ideal pit window for the for the 3 guys who start on hards. But I think one of them had already, I think it was Sleazy who started on hards. I don't know, I remember. But I think we had 3 drivers starting on hards, and those 3 will be praying to God that such a situation happens.
Yep, I think it was 2 drivers were Sleazy, Vaibhav. I'm not sure who was the third one, but definitely these 2 are still, who started on hards, are still on hards. I think that was the ideal thing to do. And as we see, it was not that particular thing. Were you seeing the drops of rain on the screen? I was definitely able to see the raindrops.
You are not wrong.
Or
am I saying something? I can't really see what's going on, but I think I see some droplets of rain. Yes, you're absolutely correct. There is some rain, and safety car is in this lap. It's going to be an absolute scramble to see what these drivers are going to do. Aradhya is weaving around, still trying to judge. Most likely there's a lot of thoughts running in his head right now. So is in my head. I can only imagine what's going on through the heads of these guys. Will he do a restart, or will he just head straight into the pits? Let's see what he does. He goes for the restart, and he just carries on. You can see he just squeezing the throttle. The car just wants to slide underneath him. But has Helium just played this to perfection, or has he just cooked his tires by staying on longer on this intermediate? But either way, this is turning out to be a very interesting circumstances right now.
Yep, DRS it seems is still not enabled as is getting a 3-second penalty and Eda getting the same. I think it's because of the track cuts. And right now it's Aradhya leading Pre from Dark Knight, from Sandeep, and then Lewis on those medium tire in these tricky conditions. So I think these guys will be waiting for DRS to get disabled as Helium makes a move on a car who is running on the medium tire, and will he get it done by the end of next corner? He gets the inside line. Goes close. Did he hit the Red Bull? I'm not sure, but he's definitely getting that grip.
He's running circles around these guys. Helium has timed this to perfection. I'm not sure how it is going to, how much life is there in the inters, but he's making the most of it right now. The guys around tiptoeing on the circuit.
Yep, he might have just placed it cards perfectly. He is gaining a lot on the cars in front. Like a lot. He is getting that grip. So I think the top 3 or the guys in medium or hard tire, they'll be definitely thinking of going quickly into the pits and maybe coming out on that inter tire right now. I think that's the best thing to do, seeing how fast Helium is going on that tire.
Yep, and these two guys are still haven't got the memo yet. They're not seeing the rain. They're still fighting, and we see Helium is losing some of front wing. I think Dark Knight and Helium has some contact, and Helium's brilliant strategy gets thrown out of the window, and Pre takes the lead. And well, Pre stays out. Pre has stayed out. That's an interesting call, and so has Dark Knight. So yeah, these guys are just throwing caution to the wind right now, and they're gonna stay out and see what they can do. Aradhya has gone to the pit lane. He's gonna go on to a set of inters, most likely. But yeah, Dark Knight and Hacker have both stayed out, and so has Pre. And we have another full course yellow.
I'm pretty confused. I'm not sure what happened because wow, there's so much happening. Karna getting a 10-second penalty, Helium getting into a battle and losing that front end plate with Dark Knight, and Aradhya jumping into the pits, but I see a sign which says DRS enabled just before the safety car. Was it a very short patch of rain? Is it not going to improve? I'm not sure what's happening. It's so difficult to answer right now.
Yep, a lot of questions, a lot of answers. So yeah, it's right now, it's just breaking my head right now. But yeah, these guys stayed out. I think they probably saw that something is happening. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm not sure if he missed something. But yeah, these guys stayed out. And yeah, now they're gonna be getting a cheap pit stop for free.
Yep, I think Aradhya has timed it almost perfectly with that pit stop. He did go back down a couple of positions, but I think considering how close the drivers were because of the last safety car, he has not lost a lot. He is still in a very good place because the drivers in front, if the rain is to improve or increase, Dark Knight, Sandeep, FIFA, Kanak, SSJ and Pre, they are yet to pit. So if they pit, it's Aradhya who is in net P2 with Helium having that front, with not having that front end plate.
Yep, will Helium choose to dive into the pits and repair, or is he gonna take it and just carry on? Let's see what he's going to do. I think he's gonna dive into the pits and cut his losses, but I'm pretty sure he would have been leading if not for that little contact through there, which I'm pretty sure he'll be reporting it and then he'll be reviewed by stewards. But yeah, I mean, that was a stroke of brilliance which kind of got unfolded by the whole racing action, but sometimes that is what it is. And just gives him a chance to go on to a fresh set of inters, which are most likely not taking those 3 laps of punishment, and a new low score as well for his aero. So yeah, on he goes, and he's back to P3.
Yes, gone on Hearts.
See?
That I'm not sure what is happening right now. What is this rain doing with the drivers? Deepak, it's for you to comment. I can't comment on this. What's happening?
I am lost for words. So Pre, Dark Knight, going on hard, SSJ is choosing to stay out, and Helium also going on hard. So clearly these drivers thinking that the rain is not gonna be long enough for them to go on to the inters, and Helium, who has been driving on the inters, clearly is feeling that something else is better than the inters. So yeah, I am lost for words and I am lost for answers, as I'm pretty sure you guys are also as well. But let's see how this unfolds. That's all I can say.
Yep, and as we see, Aradhya has gone back again to that harder tire from that interset. It's definitely, drivers are, I think, aware it's not gonna improve. Maybe helium pitting early has confused, or maybe that influenced Aradhya to think of that inter, and it just didn't play well for him.
But there was a moment when the inters were actually seemed to be working well. Like Helium was driving around the cars on slicks, and slicks were just struggling to dance through. And somehow we are back to square one, everyone back on hard tires, and we got a split. We've got some drivers who still think the inters are a safer option, and some drivers who are like safest is not the best for us right now. We're going to stick with hard slicks. So yeah, it's a very confusing time, to be honest.
Yep. Though the rain still has not stopped, the intensity is less, but it's still pouring down on the track. I'm not sure how much grip these drivers are finding on this track right now, but yeah, some drivers still deciding to continue on that intercept. Like if I talk about Zeus, Fives and Fury, in the middle part of the grid we have like Edog, King James, who are deciding to stay on that inter tire, but others are on hards. It's a very, if you'll just show this grid to someone in this situation, and they'll be like, we can't comment what's happening, what the drivers are thinking. For some it's the hard tire they think is best, for some it's the inter tire, and those two tires are of completely different conditions. Nothing to answer on that.
Yep, I really can't wait for the race to get over and for me to get some answers. And to the viewers who are watching, if you also want some answers, do join our Discord. And pretty sure the chat's gonna be lit up after this with a lot of questions and a lot of crazy incidents happening. So yeah, if you do want to join in on those, do join our Discord. The link is in the description, and we do have some other series also running alongside this. If F1 is not your cup of tea, like after the course, the competition, we have events going on those as well. So yeah, this is your chance to join and just get in on the action.
Yep, that is definitely one of the things you guys should do. Join our IRC server and get to see what was exactly happening on the track in this moment once the driver finished the race, and they just go into the chat telling us what's gonna what happened during this part of the race. We will definitely have these questions to the drivers who will be finishing in top 3, but there will be a lot to ask for even after that.
Yep, and I guess the safety car will be in this lap. All the cars have caught up, and as expected, the safety car is in this lap. Now it's going to be a real test of which tire is the better option, because I think the rain drizzle is still going on. I can see a few droplets here and there, but it's still not intense enough. But this restart will tell us the story exactly. We've got 3 hard slicks up ahead. Oh, and he's getting a little too close to comfort there with the assassin. Hopefully there's not getting a penalty for that. But yeah, we got 3 hard slicks up front with 1 hard slick that's done like 5 more laps. So let's see what kind of restart we get. As Pri is still turning around, and he still gets to go to full throttle, and he's taking this as close as he can to the finish line. And we go to the final 2 corners, and I guess he is on. Yes, he is on, and the inters are starting to slip around a little bit. I think that was SSG Assassin slipping out. Yep, he has lost the position, and I still can't make out which tire is the better. And you see the Haas is trading blows, and there was some wing plates flying through. And I still don't think the slicks are performing as well as expected, because the inters seem to have better grip through. And Zeus has moved up, so has Fury and Faizan.
Yep, and there's a lot of happening on the track. I'm not sure for Aradhya going back on that slick tire right now was the perfect thing to do with Pri. Zeus, the people on inters are just going all over the drivers who are on hard tires right now. Faizan gaining on Dark Knight falling back. Pri somehow trying to hold on top, and Zeus has managed to get past Pri as well. The hard tires are definitely not the best thing to do right now. Yup, it's the inter tires who's performing. Not sure how long it will be the case, but yup, I think all these drivers on the slick tires will be just trying to make sure they do not lose a lot of time while battling to these cars. Will be just going all over the places on those faster tires in these conditions.
Yep, the inter tires are just
happening.
making a full run on these guys, and they're running circles around the hard tires. The hard tires are doing the best that they can to hold on, but the inters are just having that little extra grip to make the moves done. I mean, King James has moved up on Helium, just putting a move around the outside through there, and 3 has shot a position to 5 on also. So yeah, and we have another full course yellow. I don't know what's going on.
It's definitely a full course yellow as we see one car just jumping into the pits with SSJ not having a front wing only. I'm not sure what happened to him. 5 done. Helium getting a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow. Oh no, is it a virtual safety car that we are missing? It seems like a virtual safety car on track.
Once again, I am lost for words because the inter tires are switching onto the slicks right now. So yeah, I honestly, I don't know what to say right now. I'm completely lost for answers.
Yep, I think one of the reasons can be...
has stopped.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say with Zinx getting another 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. This has gone from bad to worse for him with those penalties. And one thing to add, FIFA Kanak also getting a 10-second penalty. I'm not sure what to say right now, but to point, Aradhya pitting in that safety car, going on that slicks, has now pulled him back into P4 and maybe in contention for battle for the race win.
Yep, indeed, and yeah, it's been a very topsy-turvy few laps, with absolutely no idea what's going on. But I think it's all starting into falling into place right now. So the small drain drizzle has stopped, and the slicks are once again back in contention. So Aradhya had played the long game, and I think he's up there. And so did Helium. He also played quite the long game, long before anyone else. Could have ended up really bit differently, but there was a small incident. But nonetheless, he is still up in the top 3. Could have been in the top 2, but it's still not a bad place to be in.
Yup, and on the leaderboard, we can see a lot of penalties for the drivers like Helium 10 seconds, FIFA Kanak Zinx 10 seconds, with few more penalties for the people down the grid with Mohan with a drive-through which is yet to be served. So yeah, a lot of things happened in that full course yellow, and we are back racing with Pri leading from Dark Knight, followed by Helium with a 4-second gap over Aradhya. So yep, Helium got some breathing space. So these top 3 will be trying to make sure that they get to create a good enough gap to Aradhya so that there's one less driver to fight with. A Merc of Vaibhav Khanna fighting Tane with McLaren coming out in front.
That was a good defense from the McLaren of Tane, giving enough space, but just cutting off that move. Vaibhav seems to be having a good pace right now, but he's just not able to get past that McLaren, who's doing his best to defend that move, the position.
Yep, and he'll be trying to go for one more move down the inside using that DRS. Will he go for it? Yes, he did, but there was not enough space to make that move done. As we see, they are still trying to battle, being very close. Oh, that was close. Luckily, he braked early. So yeah, it's Tane who comes out in front to that part of the track.
And I think that turn 6, I don't think Vaibhav will be much happier because it looked like Tane had turned in a lot earlier and clattered onto the mug. But yeah, these two live to fight another day, and Vaibhav will have to do it all over again.
Yup, that is true. As we see, we are on lap 16. The leaders have started the lap 16, and we are almost halfway through the race. And the field is not spread a lot because of the multiple safety cars we had. As you see, another driver getting a 3-second penalty. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe I missed it. Okay, so that's another McLaren getting a penalty. So both the McLarens right now running with 3-second penalties. That is not the best thing to do, but it's easy to get those penalties. Vaibhav Khanna putting a personal best, which is almost a second faster than his last best lap. So yeah, he's trying to get back the pace that these guys lost, maybe due to multiple safety cars, like that the momentum was gone, and then the tricky rainy conditions as well. Yeah, now the pressure set will be helping them to go much faster.
Yep, indeed. I think it's back on to our regular programming right now with the normal conditions, and the time when sticks are functioning well. And once again, I think the Vaibhav had made move this time around. I think he has stuck the move, and he's moved up our position and taken it from Tane, and he's moved up P12. Moving
Yeah,
up forward
that is
to the top 3, Helium is sticking close to the coattails of Dark Knight, but he's got the 10 seconds penalty hanging over his head. But he doesn't care about that. He goes for the on-track position and he overtakes Dark Knight through that final second corner. So that was a brilliant move. And he moves up to P2, but he's got a lot of work in front of him with the 10 seconds penalty hanging over his head.
Yep, I think that's the best thing for him to do. He has to just go full send, create as much gap as he can to the drivers behind, to get the best chance of finishing as higher up as he can with that 10-second penalty. Because I think removing that 10-second penalty, there might not, it's very difficult that there will be any reason to remove that 10-second penalty in case he has something in mind. But yeah, he will be just going full send. I think we have seen that before where drivers, just rack up penalties because of maybe track cuts or something, and then they'll just go full send, get that maybe the best result on track, and the 10-second penalty will anyways do its job in the end.
Faizan moves up one position, overtakes Midas, and moves up to P7. Faizan's been having a bit of an up and down kind of a race. He was running in the top 5, and I think that entire tire strategy in the middle threw him down, and now he's back to P7. Let's see how much he can recover up the field.
Yep, I think a similar thing happened for Zeus as well, who is right now sitting in P16.
Yep, indeed, he was also like showing good pace, and I think that whole that inters and the slicks, that crossover point, I think there was like a lot of stuff happening. I think a lot of drivers got shuffled out of places in that one. I think like drivers like Aradhya, who were in the back of the field, jumped to the front, and some drivers at the front got sent to the back. Such was that nature of the crossover. It was very chaotic, and honestly a lot for us to keep track of. But yep, here we are. And, looks like the gaps are starting to settle a little bit. I think it's like everyone running on their own pace to extend the tires as much as they can. So as you can see right now, there's like a mix of tires, but mostly hards, which will make it to the end. But at the end, you still don't want to push the tires too much and chew a lot out of them before anything could happen. So the drivers will definitely be keeping that in the back of their minds and trying to conserve the tires and take it to the end.
That is definitely one of the things to look out for, because right now, and as we see, there's a big lockup from that Red Bull of Pre while defending from Helium. So Helium is putting pressure on Pre and he is forcing him into mistakes. Maybe it was just one off, but yep, Helium is not leaving Pre right now with Dark Knight, who is also sitting very, very close, just waiting for that one mistake or one incident between these two, and he'll just be in the situation to be jump on the top.
Behind we have Faizan, who is in the mix between Vaibhav and Tane. So yeah, he's moved up on Tane and he's now clashing up to Vaibhav, and he's trying to make the move. I think there's like a lot of ups and downs through there, but yeah, Tane once again pokes into I'm really sorry, that was ABD, my bad. So it was Tane, ABD and Vaibhav fighting each other, and I think Tane just poked his nose onto ABD. I don't think ABD will be quite happy about that. But yeah, as it stands, he has moved up and he's chasing after Vaibhav right now.
Yep, and I'm not sure if any one of them lost or got any damage because of that incident, but yep, looks like they came out clean. Faizan got a 3-second penalty. Maybe, yep, too many track cuts, it seems. Yeah, and I think I mean, there's a lot of stuff already happened in the initial, first half of this race. We already see 3 times full course yellow with 2 safety cars in just 15 laps. So you can say, I think you just put it perfectly, that it was chaotic. Already a lot has happened. Not sure what we have on the plate for this final, 12 laps.
Podium is doing his absolute level best to clear Pre and run away, and Pre, although he has 10 seconds, he just doesn't want Helium to get that opportunity to run away and stretch his legs. So he's doing everything he can to stay up front and secure his win. So he is standing right now, and we see Aradhya and Dark Knight also getting into a battle right now. Aradhya playing his cards right and he's slowly but steadily catching up to Dark Knight, looking to take the position away from him.
Yep, there's already a good 12-second gap from P4 to P5, so they do got some room, the leaders, and now they'll be, just trying to wait or get that, find that right opportunity where the other cars in the top four just get into some incident or into battle, and they'll jump the position with Arate making a move on Dark Knight, I think, on turn one and just getting it done. But now, importantly, Dark Knight will be getting the help of DRS and Slipstream while going through this particular section of track, which leads to end of Sector 1.
Yep, now will Dark Knight attack or choose to stay back? I think he just stay back, but most importantly up ahead there's a lead fight going on. Pri is getting pushed off circuit and Helium has chosen to stay back. So yeah, it's all starting to break out once again. And behind we see SSJ and Tani trading blows, and SSJ has moved up a spot. And we see Faizan is also chasing after Sandeep Maredu. Sandeep doing a decent race, doing it P6. And he's now being haunted by the Haas of Faizan, who is also seems to be running on a good pace, but he also has 3 seconds on his head, so he's definitely looking to get as ahead as he can to nullify the penalty.
Yep, and right now, if you look at, I think, King James, he's one of our older guys in IRC, and he's also got quite a decent pace. He is sitting with almost 4 to 5 laps younger. I won't say 5 laps, yeah, 3 to 4 lap younger tires compared to the drivers in front of him. What do you think? Maybe by the end of the race, that extra life of those tires can come into play and maybe gain him a few positions? What do you think about that?
Yep, I mean, a fresher tire is always a welcome sight for any driver. You'd always like to have fresher tires. And definitely, I think by the end of it, he will definitely reap the benefit of that. But he needs to stick close and conserve the tires while the rest of them just kill their tires. So, yeah,
and sorry to cut you off there. Vaibhav Khanna has dropped down to P16 and he has left the session. Not sure if he had a crash or it was just a disconnect only that he lost all these positions. But yeah, there are 4 drivers including ABD, SSJ, Tane and Zeus, if I'm not wrong, who moved up because of that disconnect from Vaibhav, and his car has just decided to pit. Zeus making a move on Tane, and yep, sitting in front quite comfortably with Tane losing the car. Oh my god, yep, the tires are fading for him. And right now we are on board SSJ, who is chasing ABD on that medium tire, almost similar life, just 1 lap difference. And using the help of that DRS and Slipstream gets the move done. Yep, that tire is still having that life, that medium tire is going fast as expected. But again, not sure how long the tire will last, because going to the end of the race on that tire won't be easy, as King James, I think, almost touched Faizan there and about to lose the car.
He's giving it all and he's sliding the car out through the corners, which is quite easy to do in this particular circuit. The nature of the corner means that you do tend to slide a lot on the exits. And over there we just see King James just getting it all sideways, trying to get that power down. And we can still see he's got some good pace going through, and the gap between the 3, Sandeep Maredu, Faizan and King James, is getting closer and closer and closer. So it's better for him to clear this pack quickly so that he could make the best out of his tire life.
Yep, that is definitely one of the things to look out for, as we see Pri and Helium still going at it. Pri is trying to make sure that Helium does not get past him, but as we see Helium trying to make a move. Okay, that was a difficult place to make a move, with Pri coming out in front of Helium.
Yeah,
I'm not sure,
Pri showed some supreme confidence there, going around the outside, so close to the wall. And that's some good respectful racing between both of these 2 guys, because that could have easily ended really badly. These 2 guys are still putting up a show of for us.
Yep, but I think it will be something for Pri to lose in case they happen to get into an incident, which I hope it doesn't happen, because Helium with that 10-second penalty will be dropping quite far back if he doesn't get to create a very good room to the cars behind. So what do you think if maybe Pri can, do not get involved too much in the battle and just plays it safe? But I don't think he's doing that. He wants to win on track. He wants to make sure that he crosses the line first, which is a very good. I mean, I would like to say it's a very good mentality to have as a racer. I think that just motivates you to go faster and faster.
Well, I mean, to start off, yes, it's a mentality thing, and secondly, that 10 seconds, we still don't know exactly if it was like a glitch related thing or whatever it is. And within IRC, the rule book is that if there's any safety cars or anything after the penalty, it will not be removed. But I guess Pre doesn't want to take that chance and leave it up to any other rule book discretion. But as we say that Helium has moved up into P1 and Pre tried his best to hold on, but I think he's just decided that he cannot Helium cannot run more than 10 seconds right now, so I think he's comfortable letting him through, or is this just just recharging his batteries and regrouping himself for another attack? We'll have to find out soon. Behind, we see Aradhya has moved up into P3 and Dark Knight is sticking close to his tail, hoping for some slip up from Aradhya, but Aradhya seems to be having a measure of it and he's running in P3 in a very comfortable place.
Yep, as we see Aradhya, who just made a move on Dark Knight a couple of laps back, sitting less than a second behind the guy in front who is P the Pro, and is just trying to reduce that gap and get into that DRS so that he also has a chance to maybe pounce on Pre and use that 10-second penalty from Helium to even get a race win today. And right now we are on board Tanish, who is in the pits for a wing change. Not sure if that I'm not sure because of which incident he got that damage, but yep, he has lost quite a lot and got 9-second penalty as well, so not the best result for him as of now. And right now we are looking back from Helium's kick sober, and it was Pre who was trying to make a charge. And right now going side by side through that corner is not the best thing to do. Turns 18, 19, and it's King James who is trying to defend from 5-Zan. 5-Zan getting the help of DRS, might be using his battery, gets the move done to the first corner. But now, crucially, it will be King James and that Alpine who will be getting that help of DRS and slipstream while going through the straight, which leads to the end of, again, like I said, sector 1, and we'll be hoping to make a move. I think it's one of the best places to make a move with King James gaining a lot, already passing 5-Zan even before the corner is there and gets the move done. Wow, what a racing.
Yep, and both of these guys are running on fumes in terms of battery. They are both under 20%, so they're just giving it all and hoping to get ahead. And King James has got ahead of 5-Zan right now, and pretty sure 5-Zan will regroup and attack him once again. But while we are spectating this insane battle going on, the guys up ahead were also swapping places, which has brought Aradhya Gupta much more closer to the mix. And these two guys are still not letting go of it. Helium and Pro are fighting it over each other, and Aradhya Gupta is just taking it. And we have another full course yellow. I don't know what happened. And Helium has gone into the pits to switch on to a new set of tires. So, I'm still not seeing any retirements, but we do have a full course yellow.
Yep, I'm not sure which incident of there any debris on track because of which we have full course yellow. And yep, interesting strategy. Helium again, the first one to just get it right with the pitting. The safety car has always come out when it's almost these drivers are about to reach the end of the lap, and it's always Helium who just decides to jump in the pits first as he goes on a set of soft tire which we thought will never be used in this race. So he'll be using that soft tire in these final 7 laps, and crucially he has managed to get his penalty removed, and he'll be now going all guns blazing to get that top step maybe from Pre, Aradhya, Dark Knight, and I won't say Sandeep because the gap is quite long.
Well, Sandeep has just earned himself a DT with speeding under VSE, so yeah, that position is already gone.
Yep, that is one driver out. Unfortunate for Sandeep, but that is one driver out for Helium to overtake, and now it will be the top 3 who will be battling to Helium. As we see this, the full course yellow has gone.
Yep, that was a VSC. The VSC had gone. Sandeep gained a DT because of speeding under VSC. So unfortunately we couldn't see whether the safety car or VSC. I don't know what's going on. We just saw a full course yellow. But yep, that was a VSC, and we are back to green flag racing. And now this makes this win even more spicier because now Aradhya doesn't have penalties. So does 3, which means that it's a straight fight to the line. And SSJ has retired from the session. I don't know what's going on. I think his car is still driving around. I'm not sure exactly why or what's going on, but he has retired and left the session.
Yep, I think the car might get parked somewhere on the side of the track. As you can see on the map, on the circuit map, it's still on track. It has stopped on the side, so that is good. And right now it's Free who is trying to defend from Aradhya with Dark Knight sitting 2 seconds behind. It seems like Helium wanted to make sure that he doesn't lose a lot of time because of that 10 seconds. As we see Aradhya going for a move, going side by side through that corner. They're still side by side. The battle is on between these two guys. Aradhya getting that outside line, going very close to the wall. Now it will be inside for him and gets the move done. Wow.
That's some
the
good
battle
respectful
is on.
racing from Pri. He could have easily squeezed Aradhya onto the outside, but he left him enough space, and Aradhya takes the lead from there. But we still got 5 more laps to go, and this league battle is not over yet. These two guys still have a lot left in their tank, and they could still just scrap it all till the end. So yeah, for now Aradhya has taken the lead, but this is not over yet.
Yep, and in the background, Sandeep has decided to pit or maybe service drive-through, and because of that, Zeus and ABD has managed to get past him. But Sandeep not being very far behind, he'll be trying to make sure that he somehow gets to, get the overtakes done on ABD and Zeus, who are having a penalty. So even if he stays close to these guys, I think that will be enough for him to get those 2 places. But right now, the battle is on for the race win. It's all going in. Dark Knight sitting in P3, not trying to do too much, and maybe just waiting in case if something happens between these two. So he'll be in the best spot to win this race. And as you see, Helium or Hacker has already made 4 seconds. He was 19 seconds behind last lap, and now it's 14 seconds. Are the soft tires going that fast? Is it that big of a difference? What do you think?
It goes fast and it goes fast, if you know what I mean. You go very fast, but the tire does die very quickly. So yeah, I think more likely Helium will just be having to settle for a P4. But again, a P3 or even P2 is not out of question if these two guys squabbling over have a mistake or put themselves into a wall or anything like that. So the best at this moment for him is a P4, but a high result is definitely not out of the considerations.
Yep, and just one more point to add in the background, Tane has retired from this race. That McLaren, the good thing he did was he retired in the pits. That McLaren is now parked on the side, so we have one more driver out of this race, unfortunately. And now it's 16 cars, which will be going and trying to get cross the finish line as we run out of laps in the end. But yeah, there's a Merc I can see on the leaderboard sitting in the pits. It's Vaibhav Khanna. I'm not sure if he's trying to maybe get fastest lap or he's just waiting for wing repair. But yep, he get past his pit box. I think he will be coming out. So yeah, it'll be back racing, but not the best result for him. P15 right now, and coming back at the battle for the race lead, we see Pri, who got the DRS, and he's just 4 tenths behind Aradhya, going closer and closer. I think still quite far back to make a move. Yep, and now the middle sector is the one where these two will be just trying to make sure that they charge their batteries to attack on the next lap, and for Aradhya it will be to defend on the next lap.
Both the drivers are on top of their ERS management, with both having some very good battery percentages. Aradhya has also shown some brilliant racing IQ in the past with his ERS usage. So yeah, both are absolute masters of their craft, and it's just a matter of who is gonna blink and who is gonna make the first mistake. That's what it looks like to me.
And one more thing, King James, who was I think running around P9, P10, is now on P5. He has made a lot of positions, I think around 5 to 6 positions there, and I think P5 is not a bad result considering how much at the bottom of the grid he started. He has gained 8 places overall from his quali position.
Yep, that is a very good race that he's had, and so has Sipa Kanak, who's jumped up 10 places. So yeah, overall it's been a good race for these guys. It's not been the most straightforward race we've ever seen, with a lot of very difficult weather choices and tire choices forced on the drivers. But yeah, I think these guys should give themselves a pat on the back for just finishing this race.
Yeah, as we see, he is much more closer, just 2 tenths to the Aradhya. Now he has his DRS wide open, will be dumping his battery and will be trying to make a move. Will he be able to make a move? Not that far. Will he go for the dive bomb? Nope. He decides to play it safe and still sits behind. Tries to dummy and tries to go down the inside for this corner, but yeah, the radius of this corner, how wide this corner is, doesn't, I think, allow that move. So yeah, I think wise from Pri to not make that move.
Yep, indeed, and it did look like it was a dummy move, but like I said, it's not a place to do that. And I think Aradhi also knows that can't do that, so he's just calling that bluff, and he exits the Anderson Bridge corner, and both of these guys are still managing the gaps as it is. It's just been 5 tenths and just running together all this time. I don't know what the last 4 or 5 laps. I think by now Pri would have sized up where Aradhya could be attacked, where he should not be attacked. But yeah, this is the final 2 laps, and this lead battle is still not resolved yet, with Pri is menacingly looking in that mirrors from Aradhya. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how this battle will get resolved.
Yep, it's the final 2 laps, and now these two will be like, yep, that's enough weight, or that's enough playing around. It's time to get the most out of it. Whatever you have, just bring it on and play the cards just right. Just bring everything that you got to win this race. And just one more thing to add, Helium is just 6 seconds behind Dark Knight. He is gaining massively. I'm not sure if it will be enough to make a move on a Dark Knight by the end of this race, but the amount that he has gained in this final last few laps, he might be sitting on a podium in the end, you never know.
I mean, I still think that's a bit of a stretch of the imagination. He can get close, but I don't think he will be having enough tire to make it to P3. But one thing he will be putting himself into is that if there is any penalty incoming, he will definitely be jumping up. So he will definitely be trying to trade within at least the 5 seconds mark, because 5 seconds is usually penalty that's dished out by the stewards. So I think that will be going on in his head right now, to be as close as he can within that 5-second window. But coming back to the lead battle, we are on to the penultimate lap, the final sector, and we're about to start our final lap. And I think this is it. This is when these 2 guys are going to be giving it their absolutely everything. I think Pri is going to go all guns blazing this lap for the victory.
Yep, now there's nothing to wait for. It's the final lap that the leaders will be starting, and the final lap has started. Pri sitting less than half a second behind Aradhya, who is the race leader, and it should be now. I think this straight is one of the most important to get the move done. This is the best opportunity for him to get that move done right now. And as we see, they are going through this straight. Pri is 2 tenths behind. He has DRS wide open. He'll be using his battery. He'll be dumping his battery. Aradhya covers the inside, and Pri has retired. Oh my god, what has happened there?
It did look like Pri sort a little too hard onto the right and put himself into the wall. I mean, that would be the most anticlimactic end to the race we've ever seen, but I'm not sure. I think the camera angle was not that great. But looking back from Aradhya was covering the inside as much as he could, and I think Pri tried to jink out a little bit too aggressively and went into the wall, but that was very anticlimactic.
Look, Aradhya tried to defend the inside, and while Pri was trying to go around the outside, I'm not sure. I think that is something we never saw coming there, but now the Pri has DNF'd. Our championship leader has DNF'd from this race, and his title rival, Aradhya, is in P1 with the final lap about to end. So
and
yeah,
Helium has moved up to P3 in this whole clash. So he has moved up to P3, and he's 3.2 seconds behind Dark Knight. Pretty sure give him 2 more laps or 3 more laps, he would have gotten Dark Knight also through there. But all said and done, Aradhya has taken the win, comes around the final corner and takes the win. Dark Knight takes P2, and Helium moves up to P3 after a very, very topsy-turvy race. And we see King James and Fury fighting it out till the end. these two guys maintaining the gap for quite a while, but Fury will have to settle for a P5 by the look of things. And ABD has retired on the last lap, or did he cross the line? And I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, so King James moves up and finishes P4, Fury finishes P5. P5 Kanak comes around to take the checkered flag in P6. Zeus comes around to the final corner to finish P7. Good pace, and unfortunately the grid penalty did put him down a lot, and finishes P7. Sandeep Marido rounds out to finish P8, followed closely by Faizan, who also had a very good start but obviously fell down in the pack in the middle. And you have the racing bulls of Mohan coming across to P10, Midas P11, and Edok made P12 but moves up to P11 because of the track penalties. And you have Vaibakana in P15, and Zing still coming around to take P16. That was a very confusing, entertaining, chaotic. I don't know what else to describe the race, but yeah, that was quite an interesting watch, I would say.
That became a race which will be like, unveiling the suspense in the end, and something that we expected, but as we proceeded at the last lap, it just became the literal opposite, the very anticlimactic end, like you said. But yeah, importantly, congrats to our race finishers and the top three finishers who won the podium, with Aradhya winning this race, followed by Dark Knight in P2 and Helium in P3. I think Helium was his destiny to get podium today, as we discussed. He might be sitting on the podium, which we didn't expect after that last pit.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, that was like a very up and down strategy kind of for him. But at the end of the day, it all played out. So he is in P3. He would definitely be a bit more disappointed that it could have been a bit more better. But still, at the end of the day, P3 is not a bad result considering how topsy-turvy the whole race was. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot to unpack for the drivers, for the stewards. There's a lot to go. So yeah. Interesting race overall. So going to the top 10, we have Aradhya, Dark Knight, Helium, King James, Fury, FIFA Kanak, Zeus, Sandeep, Faizan, and Mohan finishing out in the top 10. And we have Edok in P12, Midas P12, 11, Midas P12, and ABD. I don't know what happened. It was like DNF in the last lap. I'm not sure if it was actually DNF or if it crossed the line, but whatever it was, again, that's another question to be answered later. So
Yep. Right now, I think we have more important questions to ask to our top three finishers on what exactly happened midway through the race, with that tricky part of the race, with that tricky patch of rainy conditions, with just confusing drivers and confusing our viewers as well on what exactly was happening, with half of the grid on slick tires and half of the grid on inter tires.
yeah, let's get our drivers in. I think we have we do have our top 3 here. I think Helium's here, Dark Knight's here, I don't know who else.
Radha is here.
Okay, I guess we can get started. So why don't we start with the race winner, Tanish? Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I'll start with the race winner. So, Aradhya, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
First of all, congratulations on that race win. I'm pretty sure that was a pretty chaotic race for you as well, considering what all has happened midway through the race with all those full course yellow safety cars, tricky conditions. You first deciding to go on inters, and again immediately coming back on the slicks. So yeah, please walk us through your race.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for the race. Congrats. But it was far from the most perfect race, I guess you could say, or the easiest race I could have had, but still nonetheless nice. Yeah, I mean, did I just start on mediums, but then with the first safety car, it was quite tricky because my engineer kept saying that rain will come in 5 minutes, so I was quite unsure on myself that when the rain will arrive, but it unfortunately arrived just out of the safety car, so that completely confused me. So and then it got wet pretty quickly, which I did not anticipate it will get that quickly. So yeah, that was a bit of a hard luck on my side. A bit more hard luck after the fact that once I pitted for inters, it started to rain again. Sorry, the safety car came out again. So that was also a bit of a hard luck because I thought I could have gained time back on people who stayed out on dries, but yeah, couldn't. But the engineer of my pretty said again that it will clear up in 5 minutes. So I decided to take the gamble, go back to dry tires on hards, which turned out to be pretty well. And then yeah, from then on I was just 100% throughout the lap. I was pushing all as much as I could. Helium decided to pit, which made my job a bit easier on pre because he did not have DRS, but it was still pretty chaotic with fighting with pre. And then on last lap, unfortunately, he had a screen freeze, as what he was saying to me in VC right now. So that's why he crashed into the wall and retired. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty fun last lap as well.
Yep, we all saw that on stream. I think that was a very anticlimactic end, and we were all confused what exactly happened to that guy. He did a very good race throughout, and in the final lap, it just went to worse for him. So, yeah, hard luck for him, but good racing between you guys. Just one question. Were you guys aware at the race start itself that there will be that tricky patch midway through the race where you guys will be either on the soft tire or like slick tire or the inter tire? Were you guys aware, or it was just your race engineer telling midway that there might be a patch of rain in the next few minutes?
There was definitely a wet icon on the strategy page, which you might be aware of in the F1, but it was actually quite further away into the race. It was expected around lap 15, lap 16, which so that was a surprise that it came so early for us.
Wow. Okay. Okay. But yeah, congrats on the race win. Again, a good performance. And yeah, enjoy your race win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, Deepak, why don't you take us with our interviews for our next guy in P2, Dark Knight?
Yep. Hello, Darknet. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Okay, P2, great result in a track like Singapore. So, why don't you talk us through the race? I think there's a lot to unpack. So, yeah, why don't you just talk us through a race?
It was a really good race. Yeah, kept it clean. I think that was the most important part. I think we were all on the edge with multiple safety cars, and also I just want to say sorry to Free. I know it's just unfortunate what happened to him. He had a screen freeze and lost that podium. But yeah, on my side, I think it was pretty straightforward. I was just trying to keep it clean, trying to keep it consistent. I was just trying to keep up with them. They were very, very quick. I was pushing really, really hard towards the end. I lost all my tires. I couldn't keep up with them. I think I was like 4 seconds behind. And obviously, with Helium, he was catching towards the end. So in my head, it was just okay. I just had to keep that gap nailed. And all in all, good race. Also, kudos to Fury. He's my teammate. He has done really well. P5 for him as well. So good points considering the situation. And yeah, that puts us in a good place for the constructors. And also, there was an incident with Helium. I don't know what happened. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, it was a bit on the edge. So yeah, let's see what happens in the after the post race stewarding. So regardless, GG's to all of them. I think it was a really good race.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we were a bit lost in the middle for a while when all the tires changes are happening, somewhere on inter, somewhere on slicks. So what was your plan like through there? Like, were you seeing all of this and were you like, I need to switch to inters immediately, or like what was going on?
Yeah, I mean, initially when the first safety car came out, I mean, we did see there was going to be rain in about 10 minutes, and Helium just went into the pits. And there was a moment that me and Aradhya were in the same VC. We were like, okay, this is a bit of a problem because if the safety car went in a little bit too late, which it did, Helium would have just crossed us, which also he did. But with the other safety cars that came in, I think it helped us in our favor. Obviously, with Aradhya, I think he had one. I think he went a bit early and he had to make a comeback. But yeah, good race for I think all of us. So Radhe Radhe. I mean, Aradhya has done a really good race.
Yep, indeed, and yeah, congratulations on the P2. So
Yeah, thank you.
move on to P3. Helium, Tanish, why don't you take this away?
Yep, sure.
I know this is going to be very funny. You can take a minute to laugh.
I have
Whoever is laughing in the background.
Yep, that is me. But like, I have no questions for you right now because I think for you it was the most chaotic race with what all we have seen on the stream. Like, you were the first one who decided to go on that inter tires, and throughout the race, like we were confused. Like throughout that safety car, what was the reason for you going on that set? And then suddenly we see the rain pouring at the end of safety car. So yeah, why don't you walk us through what was going through your mind through that particular patch of the race? Like, how did you decide that this is the best call to, pit on the inters because you were the only one who did that?
Nice question. The simplest answer I can give is I just wanted to fuck with everyone. I just wanted to make everyone just keep thinking in what is happening, what is he doing. And I honestly, the whole time I was racing, I had the stream on right next to me. So it was very, very fun watching Deepak and the, I don't know who the other person is, just lose their minds what I was doing. So that is the most major reason why I pitted 3 laps earlier for inters, 4 laps earlier for hards. And yeah, that's, I mean, I would want to give a more eloquent answer for this, like a more strategical, and I'm full mind, brain, mega mind type of person. But yeah, no, it was just to fuck with everyone, and and I had fun, and it worked out.
Yep, it definitely seemed like that on the stream. You were enjoying. And I think the only thing that might not have brought you the best result was your penalty in the end, which you had to serve to make sure that you do not lose a lot of positions. But yeah, I think there was a massive gain on Dark Knight in the end. When you just, I think you reduced a 19-second gap to almost 2 to 3 seconds by the end of the race in just a span of like 5 to 6 laps. Walk us through that stint. How was it? Like you were just pushing and sending it all, or it was just the tires just playing perfectly for you?
Okay, so again, this is sort of funny, but I don't know if I should say it, but who cares? So at the end, I saw that Aradhya was pretty quick before that virtual safety car came out, so I knew he would overtake Dark Knight, and I had a 10-second penalty, so I think I was thinking he would not attack me too much. So when that virtual safety car came in again, I wanted to fuck with both Pri and Aradhya. I don't know if I'm allowed to say fuck so many times, but I'm going with it. So I wanted to screw with them, let's say. Again, so I went on the softs and I was pretty, बहुत भरोसा था मेरे को on Aradhya that he would do something that would make both of them crash. And I'm hoping I get that penalty on Dark Knight for whatever incident happened. So I thought that is my best chance of winning. So yeah.
Okay. Yep. I think you had a good fun today. And yep, congratulations on that podium. Good result.
Yep.
Good race.
Yep. Thank you.
Q.
Okay,
So
so
Deepak.
with that, our Saturday festivities come to an end. And that was just our third round of this season 13 of this 10 round race calendar for F1. And if you guys are not aware yet, we do have a prize pool for this season as well. So if you haven't yet signed up, if you haven't yet joined, now is your time to do so. And a huge shout out to our partners Race Sims for helping us with the servers to run our Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione tournaments also happening right now. So if you are interested in participating in any of these 3 series, or even in participating Dirt Rally time attacks that we do every week, please do join us. The link is in the description. Head over to the website, join our server, sign up to the leagues, and take part in the action. So on that note, it's me, Deepak, your streamer, signing off for the day along with Tanish. Have a great weekend, and we will see you later.